Although the Friday Night Funkin' community is perceived as toxic and immature from the outside, I do genuinely believe it's fairly okay once you get used to it, and that's almost solely because of the modding scene. There are a lot of super talented modders who make some seriously neat stuff. You've got the OC mods, you've got the mods about games, you got the Sonic.exe mods. Anyway, the point is that the modding scene is fantastic because although the community can be a little cringe, the mods are almost all fairly good, made by good people with good intentions. And then you have Naxinet and his mod. At first glance, Naxinet wouldn't strike you as the type of person to ruffle many feathers. He barely has 1k subscribers on YouTube, his Twitter account is only sitting at around 230 followers, and his Discord server is hovering around 200 members as of this video's making. But somehow he has made quite the negative impact on this community through his mod, Monday Morning Live Leakin'. So join me as I tell you the mostly complete story of Naxinet and how he made the most controversial mod in Friday Night Funkin' history. Be sure to like and subscribe, and also remember not to harass anyone mentioned in this video, especially Naxinet. This is especially relevant because Naxinet is the type of person who doesn't care about the harassment and actually enjoys clowning on his critics. So do with that information what you will. Now, let's get into it. To give some background on Naxinet's controversial mod, Monday Morning Live Leakin', or MMLL as I will call it from now on, is an FNF mod about the deaths of real people, including certain deceased internet personalities. The name Live Leaking also refers to the now defunct social media platform LiveLeak, which hosted videos of violence and gore. The mod was apparently originally called Thursday Night Shotgunnin' and featured Ronnie McNutt, a real-life Iraq War veteran with PTSD who ended his life with a shotgun during a viral Facebook livestream. Once the mod was rebranded as Monday Morning Live Leakin', it would go on to encompass the deaths of a lot more people, such as a song called Cancer Wars, allegedly sung by Minecraft YouTuber Technoblade and Roblox co-founder Eric Castle, both of whom passed away from cancer. The mod also included depictions of Gleb Koroblev, Shuaibi Aslam, and Rorochan, all of whom ended their lives on live streams, as well as showing Etika, who ended his life in 2019, and George Floyd, who was killed by police in 2020. There were also allegedly songs involving shooters, which I'm definitely not talking about because I'll get demonetized. Obviously, the use of the deaths of real people was meant to be shocking, and I see mods like these as pure unadulterated rage bait, meant to make people angry. I mean, they were taking real people who were mourned for, who had families, who traumatized others with their passings, and turned their deaths into a ha-ha funny XD Newgrounds game mod, and it seems like most people agree with my standpoint. The mod eventually got cancelled by Naxinet at the beginning of 2023, however, this led to a variety of fan mods following on from the MMLL concept, such as Monday Morning Live Leakin' Fan Edition. After a month, Naxinet backtracked on the mod's cancellation and started working on the official build again. Currently, MMLL version 5 is still under development in all its degenerate glory. Back when I made my FNF controversy iceberg, I wasn't aware of MMLL or Naxinet, and luckily a lot of people in the comments educated me on what it was, because now I definitely see what all the fuss is about. Now that you've been caught up on what exactly Monday Morning Live Leakin' is, I'd like to inform you on the history of Naxinet and his journey through the FNF community. To put it simply, Naxinet is a 16-year-old boy who probably spends a little too much time in edgy deep web forums. He's been in the FNF modding community and uploading to his YouTube channel since at least mid-2022. However, his early works didn't attract much attention from the overall fandom. Around this point, his views were averaging around the 1.5k mark, fluctuating depending on the content, which itself varied from Dave and Bambi, Madness Combat, and Liminal Funkin'. However, he stumbled upon a new idea which saw his views skyrocket. In early November 2022, Naxinet posted a video called Treatment Ronnie Concept, sparking the beginning of a new mod idea. Naxinet would continue molding this into the MMLL mod we'd hate today, by posting more similar videos which garnered tens and sometimes hundreds of thousands of views, with his subscriber count also skyrocketing to match the rising views. From the beginning, Naxinet knew the insensitivity of his content, and it was clear that he knew he could use his shock mod for clout. He even implies such in his old community posts. During this time, Naxinet would also go on to create a Twitter account, where he would post about his mod, as well as make fun of people who criticized him. Apparently he didn't care about the haters, and actually wanted to finish the mod to spite them. On the 31st of December 2022, Naxinet posted a demo for MMLL. However, a week later, he came out with an apology, where he stated that he was cancelling the MMLL mod and taking full accountability. He also claimed that he made the mod so he could impress his edgy friends, and that he ended up using it for easy clout when he posted it online and saw how many people engaged with it, even though he really could have kept it private if it was just a thing among friends. Besides that though, it was somehow a pretty decent apology. When people tried to create remakes of MMLL, such as the aforementioned fan edition, Naxinet outright stated that he did not support these projects, as well as stating his disapproval of people using his music or art in these mods. So although the MMLL concept was staying alive, but barely, Naxinet did not want any part in it. If that was how the saga ended, this whole controversy would be lost to the annals of time and no one would really talk about it that much anymore. But of course, you're watching this video, you see it's not even close to ending, so obviously there's more to this situation. At the beginning of February, Naxinet jokingly tweeted about revitalizing the MMLL project, and a few days later did a poll for both his YouTube and Twitter communities on whether or not he should continue the mod, and received a very slight affirmative vote on both of them. At the beginning of April, a YouTube channel called Scums was created, and it released a teaser for something called MMLL version 5. This Scums channel would go on to post 5 total videos in April, with 4 of them being teasers for this 5th version of Monday Morning Live Leakin'. It was confirmed eventually that this channel is being run by Naxinet, as well as him advertising this new MMLL V5 project on his old channel and Twitter account. It was very evident that Naxinet had no intention of leaving MMLL behind and doing anything else. Naxinet has since abandoned his old channel and is posting exclusively on his new Scums channel. He also apparently goes by another name, For Worst. So that's the whole history of Naxinet in the FNF community. But what kind of FNF controversy would this be without some trashy harassment? And this one is probably the worst I've ever seen. Let's talk about Rayez. Rayez is someone who has borne the brunt of harassment and hatred by Naxinet and his community for a long time. It began when Rayez made a video exposing Naxinet and his community. This video was only 9 minutes long and detailed the degeneracy of his Discord server as well as the insensitivity of the MMLL mod. It was probably the first expose against Naxinet. As you'd expect, the rabid Naxinet fans proceeded to harass Rayez. However, she stayed on top of things by deleting most of the hateful comments. Rayez claimed that Naxinet had sent these harassers to harass her, something that Naxinet vehemently denies. Naxinet alleges that Rayez constantly deleted his comments trying to defend himself on a video. In the coming month, Rayez and Naxinet would continue this process of just kinda yelling at each other through tagged community posts, with Naxinet getting angry at Rayez for milking him for views, which is hilarious. I can't understand how he didn't see the irony of accusing someone else of milking him for views when he was doing the same thing to real dead people. But Naxinet makes one good point, being that they should have communicated in DMs instead of community posts, which Rayez ignored. Everything came to a head when one of Rayez's friends betrayed her and allegedly leaked Rayez's private information such as IP and phone number. A Naxinet stan named Jester Docs, under the name Byte System, hacked into Rayez's YouTube channel using her email address and took control of it, using the account to post cringy memes and pathetic community posts. Jester managed to use leak information to also find Naxinet's home address and swatted her, which is basically when you falsely send police to someone else's house in the hope of getting them hurt or arrested. After this, Rayez said that she suspected Naxinet may have been somewhat involved in the swatting, as he messaged her on Discord saying "I'm not sorry" after it happened. Rayez started a new channel several days later where she talks a little about the swatting incident. However, the harassment did not stop here. After Rayez released this new video, Naxinet was intent on swatting her again, saying she hadn't learned her lesson, as well as encouraging his fans to swat her more. Jester, the person who first swatted her, threatened to swat her again if she didn't do 2 things. 1. Post a video where she said that she hated black people with a specific racial slur, and 2. Take a nude photo of herself and send it to Jester. She complied and Jester backed off. Naxinet also intended to blackmail her by getting her to say a humiliating apology script on video to stop the harassment. which she ultimately followed through on the 12th of June of 2023. It is entirely possible that Rayez is still being harassed by these sick individuals. I tried to get into contact with Rayez via Discord, but her IDs are all defunct. If anyone has any way to contact Rayez, please tell me in the comments or DM me on Twitter or something, because I'm genuinely concerned for Rayez's well-being. So yeah, I guess that's what happens when you make a short video exposing a bad person. Cool. But of course, Naxinet could not have dug this far into degeneracy unless he had a crowd of people around him supporting him and his bad decisions. When you are devoted solely to a single idea or a mindset, you can't surround yourself with people who dislike what you're doing. Instead, you should surround yourself solely with people who encourage and support your endeavors. An echo chamber is essentially an enclosed space on a social media platform where you are surrounded by people who only reinforce and repeat your own beliefs, which protects you from outside criticism. And what better way to create your own echo chamber than to make a dedicated MMLL Discord server, where MMLL fans can join in and chat about their favorite mod, and any haters can easily be removed to preserve the sanctity of their disgustingly insensitive project. In my observation of the MMLL Discord server, I saw a lot of slurs being said, a lot of NSFW being posted, a lot of racism, transphobia, ableism, any form of discrimination you can name, and generally just a lot of stuff you would expect from fans of a mod about internet people killing themselves. Basically just a regular 4chan thread, if you can imagine that. As you'd expect, there were also a lot of people clowning on Rayez, as well as a few videos that she was definitely forced into making. If any of the people running that server are watching this video, feel free to try and figure out who I am and ban me or whatever. It should be fairly easy and saves me the effort of leaving the server myself. Anyway, let's end this train wreck of a deep dive. In the title of this video, I called Naxinet the Dauntless Degenerate, and I think that holds 100% true. Naxinet is the type of unabashed, edgy child who will ride the clout wave for as long as they can, but aren't afraid to bail and hide out until the hate subsides, and then they bounce back to their awful selves. As you've probably realized, Naxinet started out fairly humble, but then got caught up in his degenerate project that sent him down a worse and worse path as time went on. There's a lot more I could have talked about in this video. I could have talked about Naxinet's website, or the fact that he's harassed people other than Rayez. Hell, I could have talked about some of Naxinet's friends, like his MMLL co-director Luma, who probably enabled his terrible behavior. But honestly, who cares? Naxinet doesn't give a crap what people think about his content, because he's already built an echo chamber of crazy fans he can surround himself with and block out any criticism. You know what? If this guy doesn't care about what other people say about him, then I'm not holding back my punches. Naxinet is a straight up degenerate creep scumbag. He knows that he can keep getting away with whatever he's doing, so he'll just keep churning out crappy videos and mods, making rage bait tweets, and overall being an unapologetic and obnoxious human being. The best thing we can do is ignore him. Just don't interact with any of his tweets, don't watch any of his videos, don't comment on anything that he does, and hope that something happens. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.